Okay, so we put some distance between each one of these kick drums, and that's kind of cool. Another way of doing this is like I can, let's undo what I just did here. Let me go back into here and undo this, and I'll close the silence stripe silence window. And what I can do is I can go right here, and I can duplicate this track, and I'll duplicate this drum region. See here, and the name for duplicated region will be okay dot 01. Here it's underscore 01, right? So press OK. I have a duplicate region. This one and that one. Now, they're in the playlist. This is the playlist. Other playlists include these other things. That means I have these many regions in this place 1, and this is 2. I can go back to this region 1. Here's 2. Go to here again. Select that region. And I'm going to pull up the strip silence again. And I'll do it. And do it. And there we go. We got strip silence. Now I can also go back and forth. Here's one. See, it's still there. I can remove strip silence right here. And I have another region here in a playlist. See that playlist right there? I can make a new playlist. Let's make a new playlist. And see, it says 2, but it's not there. So I can go back here. Let's say go to 2. I can copy all these. I'll press copy to this. This is showing you how it happens. And then I go back here to my third playlist, and I can press paste. I can take this kick drum. Let's say we're in this mix. Let's play it back. I'll copy this. I'm going to paste it here. See that? And I can go back to here, and it's different. It's gone. It's different. Here, it's different. So we can have several different playlists. I can chop something up. See if I like. It's great for doing remixes. You can say, okay, well, I want to try it with the drums this way, and I may want to hear it with the drums this way, or I may want to hear the original track and then not re-edit this, and I don't like the way that sounds. So we have several different playlists in the one track. So I can chop a region up several different ways, and it works out really cool that way. And this is how I do it. Normally I'm doing a mix. Like here, for example, also the snare drum. I will chop this up. I'll listen back to it first. The thing I like to do is say I'll go to here, I'll strip silence. It's Apple U, and I'll see I got my pad right, how much I want the back of the front. And the ending, I may want to add a little more at the end just to give it a little more of a grace period here, just to make sure I'm not chopping too much off it. And I'll say, cut the start of it down some. A little bit right there. And then I'll say strip silence. Cool. Now what I like to do also sometimes is I'll take this, let's undo that, and I'll say, duplicate track. Bam. Another version of the snare drum again. And here's the duplicate track right there. And see the name appears here, snare.01. And the original track is right here, just snare. See that? Okay, good. And there you go. And you see here now, the order, no, it's the 5th playlist. This is another one here. So I can even go back to the kick drum again. And it'll show all the playlists. It's my snare playlist, see? And if I go back to the snare playlist, there's my kick drum playlist. You got these are all the extra playlists I have for that one. I can put this kick drum here if I wanted to, for example. So it gives me a list of all the playlists that are available. Now here I got this one playlist here. Let me say I go back to the original playlist, which is my snare drum, and go to this one here. And I'll say, okay, I want to strip this one here, which is all one playlist. Okay, close this out. One thing I could do is I'll take a sound, for example, on these snare drums, and I may go into an audio suite, and I may want to EQ or let's say raise a level of something. Let's say I want to go into a compressor limiter here, and I'll pull it up, and I'll pick this sound here, and I'll say, okay, I may want to bring it up. Let's see how it sounds regularly. So I'll just press preview, and now we're hearing that sound. That's the sound previewed over and over again. So I can press that down there, and now if I press preview and I press bypass, that's without it. And I can raise the gain here, and now it's louder. It's louder. See that? And I can go to here, and that's what it sounds like without the compression effect. My purpose here actually sometimes is I like to make different snare drums, different levels. I think most guys do this now over the years. I hear this a little louder. This one go 2 dB. It's like a little difference right there. Good. Press this, it stops. That's how we can actually test it out or process the sound. I just processed that sound. So now I can go to here. I'll play these back. So the first one hits harder. And so I tend to do this sometimes is make sure the first snare drum that comes up hits harder. And I may make this one hit a little bit lower. So you can actually use your audio suite here to edit sounds in this region area. That's a cool way to actually edit some of the sounds you've got and make it sound like, a little different than what you're doing. And what we also like to do, we go to here and just undo that. Undo the compression of that particular track, and now it's back to normal. I could do some things also when I'm taking a track like this, for example, and I'll take this down to, I already did it like that, okay, great. And we got the 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. I just want to use 4 bars here. Now in grid mode. And sometimes you may want to change the feel of a hi-hat, or you're in this particular grid mode here, we'll say, for example. And let's say here, I want to change the time compression of it. I want to get this kind of like fast hi-hat going. So I go to here, I'll say I want to go to there. And now, I go back to the hi-hats again. I get a little different feel there. See that? And sometimes you might want to even do that. Now here's some parts here the hi-hats are cut out because that's just a little too much time compression going on there. But let's see if I undid this and I used my insert tool. And I did it by bars, we'll say, for example. I'll press Apple E here and make that separate. I could time compress this to be half what it was. So you can do that sometimes and compile them, and you say you might duplicate it, and that way you can speed the snare drum sound without ever having to chop it up and paste it in that way.